Hi, my name is Ben Kennedy, and I'm going to be talking about political credibility today. Political credibility is something that's highly important in a society that we live in America because we have a very democratic society, so we have the ability to elect our leaders based on our opinions and what we think of them. We're already built on a two-party system that includes Democrats and Republicans, so they obviously already have their ideas and stances that are usually supported by their current candidates or current Congress members and etc. We also have these candidates that come in with new ideas, which is great for our society, but unfortunately with the American public, they get afraid because the candidates don't have the credibility that these other established candidates have because they're not part of the traditional Republican or traditional Democratic Party. The credibility comes way back about 2,500 years ago from Aristotle's book on rhetoric when he proposed his three modes of persuasion, which was ethos, logos, and pathos. I'm going to focus on ethos. Ethos is the means of credibility that convinces someone that you are a credible source for the conversation or for the topic in the conversation or for the job that needs to be done, because it's something highly important, especially when it comes to a political office. You have people relying on you, and you don't want to be lying to these people saying that you can get this done when you really can't. And that's where it comes into having your facts all backed up and being very careful about what you say, because especially in a world that we live in with media having such a strong power and such a strong stance to convince people of different ways, it's very important to make sure you don't slip up, and that's where political experience comes into play. In the upcoming presidential election, especially on the Republican side, there's a couple of candidates that are the non-traditional type of candidates, which we have Donald Trump and Dr. Ben Carson. Both of them lack the political experiences that the other candidates already have, like Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, etc., Jeb Bush. So it's hard for them to kind of hold back from saying things because they want to get themselves out there, they want to get their ideas out there, they want the people to hear what they have to say. But sometimes it doesn't always work like that, because you may have these great ideas, but you can't really back them up based on your credibility. You don't have that type of experience that like you have all of Congress backing you up, or you have a certain party in Congress, or you have everyone in place that can help you out before you go ahead and make these decisions. Such as Trump's come under a lot of controversy lately, especially with his immigrant plan, how he wants to deport all Mexican immigrants back to Mexico and then build a giant wall. But he doesn't really have a credible source about where he's going to get the money to build the wall, how he's just going to gather all of the illegal immigrants and just send them all back at once. He has no plan established and no one in place that he can have as be seen as a credible source. He also has come under scrutiny again for the incidents recently involving like the terror attacks, and he proposed an idea of banning all Muslims from coming in the country, as well as making them all be identified with some sort of identification, which obviously people are comparing him to Hitler now. So he doesn't really have a plan backing up why or how he's going to do that, because you have 99% of these Muslim people that are perfectly harmless and they want to be here and they're helping and they're completely against that. But Trump quickly turns against all of them. And obviously the media and the American public is going to look down on that because he just, it sounds like nonsense that he's talking about. I have a video here for a political analyst talking about communication involved in politics.
You have to be consistent, and clarity is more important now than ever before. There's 1,000 sources of information, and it's getting harder and harder to get your message through. In order to have this kind of clarity, you have to decide what your message is, and you have to pound it away day in and day out, and you have to build relationships, not just with the people of New York, but with the media. It's about building relationships, and right now those relationships have been harmed.
All the candidates say they're going to pretty much deliver the moon. Can they possibly deliver that?
Cut taxes, cut spending, and solve the energy crisis. No, voters just got to demand more. That's the problem. These things work because the voters don't take time to verify, and they don't demand specificity. With the internet, there's no excuse for not being more educated now and checking out these things and challenging. Everybody's responsibility is to challenge their officials and their candidates, and it doesn't matter what party, challenge them all.
I also think it's very important to judge the media individually. So often we hear of media criticism as if they're a single block. The media is 1,000 voices. Many of them are average, some are poor, some are very good. So you really have to be fair. You have to analyze each one and judge them on their merits.
That's a political consultant sort of reaffirming what I was saying, how you always have to have your facts backed up with credibility, or else if it turns out that you're wrong or you just sound foolish when you were saying your statement that you did, it completely can backfire on you because it's going to lose all of your support because people are going to see you as one big liar, and that's what makes credibility the most important asset, especially when it comes to politics and when you're speaking to other people, because you have all these people relying on you and you don't want to let them down. Thank you. Appreciate it.